I'm Matt.
I'm Shane.
And if you like what you hear, make sure you hit that thumbs up button real hard, and make sure you subscribe to Comic Movie Marks.
And also click that little bell for all of the notifications.
Whee!
Always remember,
If Trailer Trash can do it,
anyone can do it.
hello and welcome everyone to another Comic Movie Marks video.
The third installment to the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong universe has been released. We are here to discuss it. This is spoiler talk.
Yes, finally, now we can talk spoilers, because that's the only way you could talk about an M. Night Shyamalan movie, right? Is spoilers.
Fucking pretty much. It was tough when we were doing Right Along with the Marks, or Right with the Marks, whatever we call it. And on our
That's some brand recognition for you if I ever heard any.
you like my plug? Just go fucking check it out. But our glass non-spoiler review that we did, it was kind of tough. There was a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about that I wasn't able to talk about fully. So here we are, ready to fucking break it down.
Fucking break it down in a fucking awesome way. I guess we'll give all the fucking stats.
Yeah, all the fucking stats. So, if anyone cares, 36% on the tomato meter, but the average audience score is 78%. So again, a pretty broad spectrum there. Then we have currently, I guess the estimated opening weekend is $16 million for Glass on a production budget of $20 million. So already kind of approaching breaking even as far as the production budget goes. Obviously, these are...
I think is that just for Friday?
Yeah.
So we're recording this on Saturday. Okay, yeah, so it's got a long ways to go.
Yeah, so, actually one of the related stories on Box Office Mojo is Glass ready to crack open a 50+ million holiday debut. Obviously, it's a 3-day weekend here in America, so I guess not so obviously, but it is a 3-day weekend, so we'll have a holiday, and it's tracking pretty well.
Some of us, unless you work for a racist Japanese company.
What? Okay, fair enough.
I don't have MLK Day off.
I don't either. So, and you work for a racist Japanese company?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just work for a racist pet company that will shall remain nameless.
Well, you already gave half the name away.
Oh man, yeah. So here we are, and then damn it, it's hard to tab through these without clicking my fucking mouse. There we go. I'm trying to avoid the clicks for editing, but on IMDb, currently sitting at 7.2 out of 10.
That's what our videos do. Avoid the clicks.
There, you see, you don't even have to. Editing super easy. I just did all the sound effects for you.
I already talked about this in the non-spoiler, but I'll just get the quick positive out of the way. Shyamalan, visually as a director, phenomenal. The color palette, what he used for all the colorization is fantastic. You notice that the way he shoots things, obviously with the reflections, the submersive environmental sound to everything. When certain individuals are on the screen, I think that kind of score, it wasn't like music, it was more noises when people were around. I thought that was phenomenal, and it's almost worth going to see it in theaters for that alone, because I thought it was very, very well done. The characters, everybody acting all top notch. So get all that stuff out of the way. The runtime, I think it was a solid runtime. I didn't feel like it was too long or too short.
Wow. I love how you just like power through the positives so I could tear this shit down.
No, because I have one big issue with the fucking movie, and I think it's really the thing I think that might be the thing that someone is hating the most about it. I have a feeling
I guess I'll talk about quickly some of the shit that I actually enjoyed. The acting, as Matt said, holy fuck, phenomenal. Which, you know, when you have the cast in James McAvoy, Samuel L. Jackson, Bruce Willis, fucking perfect casting. Obviously, they did a great job. M. Night Shyamalan has a cameo, so he is the next evolution in the Stan Lee cameos. Rest in peace, Stan Lee. Actually, he's credited for 2. As he's a security guard, apparently. I didn't catch that one. Obviously, the most obvious one when he's in the security shop that's ran by David Dunn and his son. Nice little cameo there. Again, something that Matt had touched on. The same thing. It's to be expected that M. Night Shyamalan, the way that he films, like his flavor on filming, the unique shots, he could do a stereotypical conversation between people, and he's like, no, I'm gonna change it up, and we're gonna shoot it this way. Some of them that were really cool. Samuel L. Jackson at one point's laying on the bed, and you are looking through his eye, and you're seeing the reflection of what's going on. Someone kind of walking into the room. That was fucking awesome. The way that he's shooting the reflection off of a computer is fucking awesome. So really well done. The one, I guess, downside to his shots, I don't know if I like it or not. I'd have to see it again. But the first person fighting was kind of odd. I guess it's okay, but he did it a little too much, and so it's like a little jarring at first. Like the first fight at the beginning between Beast and Dunn, you're kind of like, okay, like that was different. The Beast is trying to like strangle Dunn basically and like crack his ribs and kill him that way, and it's not happening, and you get like this first person type shot. But then in the final fight, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that, but I can appreciate his unique style. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then, as Matt said, the score was sweet. Nothing too like crazy and out there. It's not a Hans Zimmer like, oh, I love this, but it's again perfect fit. Very similar to Unbreakable. It works. Some of the sounds were awesome, and I definitely think this is a must see. That's it for my positives.
Okay, so this is my negative, and this is my problem with the movie. And we saw this a lot in the Rotten Tomatoes reviews, that a lot of people had problems with the ending. So in the ending, spoiler, everybody dies. And for once, that actually means something when we say that.
Damn it, we should have led with, that's like, that's old school Mark's spoiler talk from like our podcast days that we did. And we should have led with that. Everybody dies. No, seriously, they do.
Bruce Willis's character, Mr. Glass, Samuel Jackson's character, and the Beast, James McAvoy's character, all die. And they die into this random organization that's trying to keep the idea of superheroes a secret.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
That is dumb. That's really, really dumb.
If no one listened to our non-spoiler talk, Matt was on the fence about how dumb it was, and sounds like he's made his mind up on day 2. now that we're recording spoiler talk, he's like, yeah, no, it's fucking dumb.
I don't mind the outcome. I don't mind them dying. I don't mind what ultimately the mastermind that is Mr. Glass, his plan to expose everybody, to expose the truth about superheroes. That there is superheroes and we have not reached our potential. It's kind of like an X-Men thing. How it got there with this stupid organization, it just reminded me of so many different things. One, the little tattoos on the wrist were just stupid. And they were like a 3-clover shamrock looking thing. I don't know. It looked like one of those stamps you couldn't wipe off after you go to the clubs and shit. Like some overgrown motherfucker making minimum wage stamps on your wrist and shit or hand. And then you can't get that shit fucking off no matter how much you clean it and shit. It takes like 3 days for it to finally fade out.
Right, finally wear off.
And it's just so it turns out that the doctor that was running this whole thing, so Dr. Staple, played by Sarah Paulson, so she's part of this organization. She's basically trying to convince them that they are not superheroes. So that way they don't have to kill them. That's the thing, or at least do something to them in some manner, because they don't want the idea of superheroes exposed, so they are trying to, in some way, either eliminate them, either mentally or physically. They will try to fix it in some way or another. And she's kind of giving these propositions to them, which I kind of thought was kind of cool, but it seems like a second movie idea to be like, question these powers, are they real or not? The problem is we had Unbreakable and Split, and it's kind of hard to say that David Dunn doesn't have powers. We can't question that. We know they have powers. We know the Beast is climbing on the walls. It's not just because he watched rock climbing videos. Now, I understand to these characters, it starts making them question themselves. James McAvoy's character, or the Patricia mind of the Horde, starts even questioning the Beast. And even Bruce Willis, this is David Dunn character, starts questioning himself when he's hitting the door. I get what they're trying to do it, but this evil organization is just stupid. It was really dumb, and I really wish there was a way to get to the ending of the movie, because the ending of the movie I thought was fantastic when they're spreading all the video like herpes. It's just like fucking herpes, and it's just spreading everywhere. Of like David Dunn bending the steel pipe over the door to protect the cops, seeing the Beast flip the cop car, and you see these people's reaction to this stuff. I was like, that's just fucking awesome. And you see the joy in like David Dunn's kid, Casey Cook, the character from Split, the girl from Split. You see this overwhelming joy, and of course the mother of Mr. Glass, Mrs. Price. They accomplished something. Like, they're showing the world what these people were able to do. I like that. I thought that was a cool ending. I just did not like how it got.
My biggest problem with this movie, I'm not sure if it's this organization or not. I just think
it is
that that it needed to play out a different way. I didn't like the questioning of them being superheroes or not. I thought I liked the concept, but watching the trailers before going in, and the way that it unfolds is almost that M. Night is trying to convince us that, oh, maybe the first two movies that you watched didn't actually happen, and that was he's like trying to build to a twist, but it didn't work, because as you said, you already know, no, that stuff already happened, so why are you trying to convince us that way? And so it was like a failed twist, kinda, and then you find out, oh no, they actually are superheroes. Cool, that's what I thought this whole fucking time. The thing that I think would have worked if you wanted to go the organization route is making it more obvious from very early on. Have that happen where you find out that she's a part of this organization, and they need to maintain the balance and order of the universe, as that was her whole motive. Have that happen early on, and then have the movie kind of unfold knowing exactly who they are. I think it would have worked a little bit better. You can kind of tell from almost the trailers that she is going to have an important part in this film, that maybe she'll end up turning out to be the villain. I kind of had predicted that. I didn't really predict that she'd be a part of some fucking organization, but I thought that she would be a part of the twist somehow. So if you are given the fact that, okay, she's a part of this secret organization, you're given that pretty early on, and then the movie kind of unfolds maybe a little bit differently, and the organization still ends up killing them, I think maybe it works a little bit better. I think I could have accepted it that way. But the way that it unfolded, yeah, I agree with Matt that, I don't know, it doesn't really work. I also think the whole David Dunn death kind of bugged me. After thinking about it, I'm like, he fucking died in a puddle. And I get it. You can drown in the slightest bit of water, but it should have been a little bit more epic, and it wasn't. He as much as he was trying to, M. Night was trying to add his own little twist on it, and like, oh look, he's reaching for her and stuff like that. He fucking drowns in a puddle, essentially. Whereas the other two with the Beast, or as essentially, I guess at the end, it's Kevin Wendell Crumb is the one who essentially dies. But I liked the way that he died, and the way that Elijah dies. I thought were very fitting, and then him to die in a puddle, I'm like, ah. So, and then again, like as Matt said, you have the fucking 3-leaf clover or whatever the hell it was, the stamp. It was just kind of corny, and maybe that's the point. Maybe because that's how comic books are, especially, growing up, a lot of them in the 80s and 90s are pretty corny, but I didn't really like that aspect of it. I think it could have worked in a different way, but for the most part, I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was pretty solid. That does weigh down a lot. I think the only other negative that I feel like this should have almost been the fourth movie, and that they should have had another movie that showed a little bit more of, I guess, kind of like with Casey and Kevin Wendell Crumb, and learning about some of their relationship in this movie. Just you had to fill in a lot of holes, and I talked about that in our non-spoiler talk. You had to jump to a lot of assumptions of like, oh, okay, I guess she now has Stockholm syndrome a little bit, as Matt put it. It was weird, and now you find out, oh, she has this power, if she holds him, and I felt that kind of was a little bit awkward, and it almost there should have been like a split two, and then maybe another, and then maybe Glass or something. I don't know. There should have been another evolution. There's a lot of missing pieces in there, or maybe a slightly longer movie. That could have worked as well.
I guess if your idea of the movie was what we needed to do was expose the world to superheroes, that comics are not just fiction, they're history. I guess if you've come into the movie expecting that that's the concept, that's the point of the movie, I guess then it makes all sense. It makes sense, just the desire to expose everybody to these characters, I guess wasn't a mindset that I had from the previous movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of a little bit lost, and that was the goal of the movie, was to expose these people for the superheroes that they are, or superpowered beings that they are. And I guess it did accomplish that. It's just not the perfect way to go. It really tied in a lot from Unbreakable. It tied in from Split as well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did really well with that concept. It's just the I guess the desire for what the movie wanted to portray is a little lost on me, and the evil organization is just fucking retarded.
The fact that this really looped in Unbreakable was really cool. Matt and I had kind of looked at each other in the movies like, was that a deleted scene? When basically it's kind of, I'm not even really sure where it would fit in, but it's after everything, and David Dunn walks in, and it's a younger Bruce Willis, and it's also even a younger Joseph Dunn. And they kind of have some dialogue, and we both kind of look at each other like, I don't recall seeing that. And that was pretty fucking awesome. And then they even bring back the train scene, and you get to see again another younger Bruce Willis. So I liked that aspect. I like how they kind of incorporated that. It's not CGI. It looked like that was flat out them. That was definitely the actor Spencer Clark, who played Joseph Dunn. That was him as a fucking kid. So that was really cool. I like that little tie-in there.
Yeah, it's a solid movie. I really like it. It's obviously nowhere near as bad as the critics have put it.
No.
It has flaws. But I still stand by the fact that when this comes out, I'm going to buy it on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And when I do get it, I'm going to probably do a nice trilogy run of Unbreakable, Split, and Glass.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a solid trilogy. The third one usually is always the weakest.
Yeah.
Out of the trilogies.
And I think that remains true with this one as well.
I think it connected the universes really well. I will emphasize that compared to like a DC movie or even an MCU movie or really any of these other ones that are trying to do these connected universes. I thought it did a really good job with taking his source material and bringing it into this movie.
Based on Glass, I feel like this was intentional, and he was able to really tie it in. And, with Split, you get the nice twist at the end of, oh shit, it's a part of the same universe. And then here we are with Glass to really just tie the bow. And yeah, definitely not nearly as bad as what critics are saying, which is fucking typical. So yeah, it's definitely an enjoyable movie. Bottom out of the 3, but enjoyable nonetheless.
All right, let's score this thing.
All right, so I think I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 marks.
We are on the same page. I give it 3.5 out of 5 marks. Solid entrance into the M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong verse. Can't wait till it comes out on Blu-ray. I'm curious if there's any deleted scenes. Anything a little bit extra to kind of make things maybe make a little bit more sense. Maybe he removes the stupid organization in the Blu-ray. I'll truly appreciate that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll blur out their little stupid tattoos or draw little penises on there. That'll really make it make more sense, at least then. In case I don't see you.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. You're one of very few to make it to the end.
Yes, thank you very much.
Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Comic Movie Marks Podcast and hit the notification bell. All these fucking YouTube channels say this shit, so I'm going to say it now.
Yes, it's perfect. And if you want to hear our full podcast, you can check out our podcast on iTunes or any other podcast subscription service.
Make sure you subscribe. Thanks again.